Okay, everyone. We want to come on really quick because I have other stuff that I want to do today. However, I thought it was important that we did a setup with Mona Vand to show you what she does to abuse you as audience. However, what's happened now is after I made the videos on my platform, she had the nerve to disrespect Ken Cook. This is how crazy this is. She has no clue about being professional. She has no clue about caring about anything. And then says that she cares and acts like she cares and then cries like she cares. But this is extremism. This is unprofessionalism, where I'm now looking at this old lady named Taylor, who's the Mormon reality star, wannabe star, who made a video about how not to care what people think. You're the customer. Don't care what people think? You don't care what people think when you actually have something to offer, when you are actually doing right by other people, when you actually have a service, when you actually have an education, then you don't care what people think, but you always operate under an umbrella of caring what people think as forms of feedback so that you don't, in your own blind spot of your own insecurities, which is a natural human trait, so you don't offend people so that you can keep your business open and running versus this communism bullshit that the context of which these people live in, which is all self-righteous, egotistical, self-centered behavior that offers nothing to anyone except for destroying civilization. Okay, so what we have going on is we asked Gary Vee to set up Mona Vand. And I don't even honestly remember what she posted yesterday. I feel like she posted green juice. And then today I went on to watch a little bit of the Ken Cook interview. Did I watch it? I might have not watched it. I might have just commented under Ken Cook's name. And then I went over onto Gary Vee's page talking about not caring what people think, because she definitely had a conversation around something with someone about what should she post. So that's not a professional. That's definitely not a doctor. That's not appropriate. You should actually be confident enough into knowing human behavior and solid in your production to where you don't fuel gaslighting to your audience. So I said to Ken Cook that how could you let a Persian operate in this country like that to violently assault me? That's what I asked him. I said that in his comment section. I then furthered this and went over to Gary Vee's page and did a long excerpt on reality of what's actually going on in the world of influence. With no response, except for this. Because she wanted to instigate more arguments and fights and anxiety within you as the audience, she, in her mind of minds, thinks that what I produce to call her name out produces more attention to a fake doctor with a fake age, with a diamond ring. The disconnect in reality with this whole situation is the concern and problem. It's called communism. If you don't see anything wrong with what this woman is doing, then you have major concerns for your future. One of the most proud of this year is officially becoming a certified EWG partner. This was such a great conversation on the Founders podcast. Posts a image of Ken Cook. Now, Ken Cook is old school and intelligent, at least I would think that you're intelligent, who Mona Vand has been violently violating through the experiences of what I'm capable of doing as I'm sitting here watching it, and I'm also attempting to protect him from her. But she posts this to instigate in gaslighting and aggressive it's like gloating. It's very, very toxic behavior. It's the key in all of this shit is it's unprofessional. You know, there's a lot of people in the business world that don't agree on a lot of things. Like maybe JFK Jr. doesn't believe, or whatever your name is, doesn't believe in what Ken Cook. I'm stuck on that I got your name wrong. Kennedy Jr. Maybe he doesn't believe in what you're saying. Well, then what Ken Cook would have to do is he'd have to bring in the evidence, and the research would need to be done to further on his ideas around making the food in the world a more natural and effective way to produce quantity as well as quality. However, that's not what Monavan's up to, because Monavan just likes becoming the queen of an EWG partnership to bring attention to her podcast. She's not even American, she's Persian. So she's out and doesn't eat meat. She's a Muslim who doesn't eat cow, but wants to talk about grass-fed and grass-finished, trying to deter you from eating what you enjoy, which is protein, so that she can occur as if she's controlling you. It's all very, very sickening behavior. And if you were self-aware that this would not even be a concern and an issue, but the quantity of pushing it in our faces and the support team around this particular psychopath puts a huge damper on the way that we as civilization think, Gary Vee and Ken Cook. You do want to know that you want to hold yourself responsible for what you've pushed in our faces, because without you, she's still that little twig bitch that stood at VCon with her hand up her crotch saying, "My fiance." Not sure if you missed that in the education of high school. So here we go.
Coming out of a period where...
Now this actually is quite humorous, because Demi Moore just called herself a popcorn actress, and she's sitting here eating popcorn laughing. It's almost like she's gloating to Ken Cook now and laughing at what she did to Ken Cook and the environmental partners, while trying to act as if she's kind of gloating to my content to try to stir up problems on me. However, she's ineffectively reaching me, and she's directly reaching the audience of Gary Vaynerchuk as well as Ken Cook's, now part of the Democrat system, now part of the Republicans, specifically speaking to Kash Patel. One of my biggest wellness revelations this year has become that mindful, she was mindful in posting this, should not always be the same, at least not for me. Me, she says, I do thrive on some sort of routine and structure, but that just means I commit to doing something in the morning because she's so perfect. What I've learned is it can change and should based on the soul needs in the day, but she doesn't have no soul. That's a dead ass bitch right there. What exactly is she looking up at and smiling at? That looks very fucking crazy. And then take a look at the gloop-diddy glop. Does that look appetizing to those of you who eat unhealthy, or, does that even look appealing to talk about? Like, look at that. What the fuck is that, baby diarrhea? And then now she's in brand dealership with Philosopher, sprouted almond butter, naked, creamy. That's nasty. And what does that tell you? And how that affects Ken Cook's? It's not an agenda for him. He's at cause to make the world a better place. But he's now in business with a sicko who is at cause for causing destruction in the United States of America, which hinders his process. However, now he's stuck to it because Gary Vaynerchuk's standing on the sidelines. Because you all as audience are looking at that shit, and then they made her... You don't think that this is a setup, do you? And that's for all influencers, because capitalism is also doing the same shit to you. You can't possibly think you standing there doing what you're doing in your videos is actually what brands, and real brands, not your bullshit philosopher sprouted nonsense. That's garbage. Everything she puts her hand on is fucking garbage. She's a philosopher of death. How to make you die inside every time you look at her, while she erotically looks into the air and says, "I'm so special. It's very disturbing the way her mind thinks, isn't it, folks?